I think we're all set up. So, come on in, take a sip. Let's wind down. Got ourselves a Friday grid to get into. It's the end of the week. Wrapped up all of my business today at the clinics on post. Now it's time to explore Stuttgart for the weekend. We'll be back in the studio on Sunday. Back to the what you see is what you get WYSIWYG interface that you're used to having here. But on the road, a little low tech, a little lo-fi. Just a laptop, a travel microphone, and I know, right? But one of these days I'll figure out a really cool setup and a way to do this where we can at least maintain some quality. But for the time being, at least we got ourselves a Friday grid to get into, and we have a nice puglia, though this is the last bit from last night. And so when we get out and about tonight on the town, first thing I'll be doing, we got to buy wine. But here, in the German state of Baden-Württemberg, it is like winery country, so we should have no problems at all getting to try some wonderful local fare. Let me go ahead and pull the grid up, and let's go ahead and get this thing going. Can you pull this over, get this set up a bit? Had issues before, I had to restart. It just wasn't working there, so I think we're doing great now. And it's a good thing we don't play for time here because I'm already 41 seconds in the hole. Novelist Patchett. Adjective on taco truck menu. So I'm thinking that's Anne Patchett. And this would probably be asada. So we'll go with the asada. Mouthful for the mouth. Foul mouth. Ooh, soap, sweetheart. Got soap for a foul mouth. Potty mouth gets a soapy mouth. Okay, that's my absolute limit. My absolute limit. I don't think I've ever said that. Okay, well, I have no idea what that could possibly be. One of two ingredients used to make chapati. And that is, well, I've used to make it all the time, though I typically called it naan. But really the only two ingredients you have there are ghee and flour. So I guess we're talking about atta flour. Fails to keep cool. Big game medium. Got an NAT. What do you think that's national TV? I have no idea. I think sometimes, I make a big play of things because I'm so confident that's what it is. And then when I have to change it, I'm like, tail between my legs. It's just neutralized, so to speak. No idea. Fails to keep cool. Maybe this is panics. And the reason I'm thinking is because I was thinking this is maybe due in to neutralize something. That's a bit of a drastic measure for doing something in. Or neutralizing something by doing it in. Formally selects, and this would be anoints. At least I'm not all contorted like I was yesterday, like sitting like a pretzel. At least I'm kind of getting to sit normal and straight. But I am sitting on I don't know, one of these neo-modern chairs here. But otherwise, nice little hotel. Not bad. Hard pass. How about a nah? Don't know what else to put there. Runaway hit. Could be a smosh. Bucket full. Could be a scad. So far we're doing all right. Row crosser, row crosser. Well, I think it's probably a row. We'll go with a column. And maybe that's my absolute limit with the exclamation mark. It's probably not one more. And so, cultural draw of Shanghai's M50 district, and I'm assuming this would be the art scene. Don't know anything about it. Some Halloween mischief could be, well, it could be devilry. Devilry. Yes, Brian, I'm talking about devilry. Cool whip. Cupboard component. No idea. Culture center with a question mark. It's going to be snarky. We got snark when we got question marks, and so I'm going to, since we just spent a whole day looking into the laboratory, before we went to the surgical center, I'm going to go with a lab for the culture center. And this cupboard component, I'm gonna probably go ahead and opt for a silent P. Tricky when they do that. Tricky. Just a cheeky endeavor, if you ask me. Seafood cookout bowlful. I'm gonna go with I'm gonna have a clam dip. I know it's clam bake. I get it. Just having fun. How many consent verbally? So yeah, this is not a runaway easy grid for this Friday. I mean, it's supposed to be harder. It's Friday, but this one's actually pretty challenging. Flavor enhancer in many pho recipes. So, maybe bone marrow. Maybe I used to make it at home, and now that I can make pho noodles out of a can of chicken and some sodium alginate that spherifies in a bath of calcium lactate, I can make pasta that's nothing but chicken protein. Talk about zero any kind of guilt on that stuff. It is so good. 2003, 2021 Super Bowl champs informally, probably gonna be the Bucks. Overly warm welcome, maybe. Ooh, do you see it in there? I think I see it in there. It's a sloppy kiss. Now, that's not overly warm if you're actually welcoming such a gesture, but yeah, that could be bad. Support when building bridges, so I'm going to go with a cantilever. And honestly, I don't know what else I would put there, to be honest with you. To be honest, I don't know what else I'd put out there, to be honest with you. That was so redundant. Split without warning. So this is going to be an up and leave, but let's make sure we're doing okay here. So milky resource found in the outback would be an opal. One-time iPod offering would be the nano, perhaps. And you know, the opal gemstone, it's one of those things that, it's kind of funny actually. I've got a glass of scotch and wine. I guess I poured one, forgetting I had the other. So might as well get rid of one of them. Now, I just have one. So, but I think the opal may be my favorite gem, besides maybe the blue sapphire. Reminds me of my mom. You know, that's her birthstone. I got a horrible birthstone. Aquamarine doesn't even have a cool name. It's just aquamarine. I mean, what is that? It's probably got a really cool name. I just don't know what it is. Be very funky is to reek, perhaps. Noted name in Raja performance would be Ravi. Split without warning, yeah, we said up and leave. I think it's turning into that. Propels as a shuffleboard disc, and I learned this in another grid in another lifetime. I've never played shuffleboard, I have no idea. So lookout positions could be towers. And let's see, point guards, crafty maneuver, and I bet this is a hop step. I would imagine it is. I declare, I believe it is a hop step. And done. Well, I'm not going to get to fit in here, et voila. So how about ta-da? And there we go. We're off to the races. Let's see. Blank Howard Yankee, who was in the 1963 AL MVP. Okay, his name is Elston, and I'm not a big baseball guy. I'm not anti-baseball. I love college baseball, but I don't know anything about baseball history. I'm not one of those guys that can rattle off who lost the World Series in 1951 or something. But I do learn from the crosswords. So one may be picked up in the gym. We got an O and 3 blanks. I'm going to go with an odor. That's clever and disgusting at the same time. Cuts down, maybe pairs down. So you can count on me. No idea. Litter pickup area. See, you get this N double blank E. I'm going to go with the nape of the neck. My dad used to do that when I was a kid. He'd just pick up these puppies by the nape of the neck, and they'd just hang there, and they wouldn't be yelping or anything. And I'm just like, that must be so cruel. Maybe they're not yelping because it's so shocking that they're in such a horrible position. No, I really don't care. So, let's see. Punch out, say. Interesting that my mind would immediately go to knocking somebody on their third point of contact, but I think this might be call it a day. And if you were thinking about knocking somebody out, well, join the club. I mean, it's kind of what came to my mind first. So privileged figures, got something dope. I'm going to go with the inside dope. Not very animated. How about stolid? And Charles Mingus specialty, well, he was a jazz great if there ever was one, and that would be bop. Now that's something I do know a little bit about. Prove otherwise, maybe to belie. Let's see, sass, informally. How about tood, as if sass isn't informal enough. Kind of a funny way to go about that, I think. Let's see, meme of the star of John Wick looking downcast. I have no idea. Let's see, Sioux Falls to Sioux City direction. I guess I don't know what we're doing there. Blank Nunez de Balboa, Isthmus of Panama Explorer, and that's Vasco. Vasco Nunez de Balboa, and this would be, I'm assuming, southeast. I don't know, whenever I see these cardinal directions like that, I automatically go to the voice of a cockneyed British sailor in the 1700s. I don't know why. Southeast, aye, sir. So I'm assuming that looking downcast, we got a sad Keanu. So that kind of works, I suppose. Source of a cephalopod's defensive ink comes from the sac. Seek out, maybe to solicit. And I hope I haven't fat-fingered anything. So I'm looking here. I don't see anything just jumping out at me. Keep from being touched in a way, maybe to encase. And I got a lot of messages from everyone overnight, and so I'll be getting to answering those as soon as we get in tonight. I'm looking forward to touching base with everyone. It's just so hard when you're on the road, and we didn't get those puzzles uploaded until it was way after bedtime last night and early morning. And you know the stuff. It's just, life. Snow fence accumulations, and that TS tells me it might be drifts. And so milestone for a baby. Well, they have first something, and I'm not going to put steps or words in because I don't know which one it is. You know your voices carry, right? I had a nickel for every time I heard that from my Shotzi, who's sitting directly to my 9 o'clock. Well, my 8:30. I'd have a pocket full of nickels. I know your voices carry, right? So maybe I can hear you. I have no idea. Perfect writing, revise. Got it. So I'm gonna go with the I've here. Let's see, new ager, advisor to an acting president, and again got that snarky question mark. So I'm gonna go with maybe a drama coach, and we're gonna check that post haste because I don't know. BP rival. Hess? Can't think of it. I don't know. Part of a hammock. Maybe a cord? I don't know. 4 letters. Mostly closed could be a jar. And I think we do have first words here for our milestone. So, and yeah, maybe I've got ears. I've got ears. You must be so embarrassed realizing I'm sitting right next to you while you're running your mouth about me. And so average guy could be a regular Joe. Regular Joe. Which sounds like a fun way to, a coffee shop could advertise just a normal cup of black coffee. Dessert with a black and white filling, Oreo pie, very nice. So a model way to work. Ooh, on the catwalk. I'm too sexy for my shirt. Mountains of work ahead. How about a lot to do? And what is this? Dance specialty. So we got tap. And so how did we do, Bob? Okay. Well, yeah, it was a Friday. Not a terrible time if we were counting time. We just don't count time here. I mean, it's just not something that we do. Um, if that was the case, I wouldn't say a word, and I would just do the puzzle, and that would be very boring, I imagine. And if you don't like my banter, then I imagine it's very boring anyway. So regardless, there we have it. Get a fantastic grid. And now off to the Guardian I go before my evening shower and out to explore this lovely town of Stuttgart, Germany, in the state of Baden-Württemberg, Deutschland. Wine country. Here we are. Cheers. Until we see you next time, ich wünsche Ihnen einen schönen Tag noch. Auf Wiedersehen. Tschüss, Servus, Grüß Gott, Ciao, Cin-Cin. Bis dann, bis später, bis morgen. Be nice out there. Stay well. We'll see you on the morrow for the Saturday grid, probably earlier so that we don't have to worry about it for the rest of the day. I don't know. But regardless, try to be nice to strangers if you could at all stomach it. We'll see you on the other side. Cheers.